World Cup is, it's a prestigious tournament. It is a jackpot tournament, and there's only one winner, and everybody else is a loser. So it's on July 4th, anywhere in the world, the biggest blue marlin. So I believe it's 8:30 lines in from anywhere in the world in the local time zones, and the biggest fish takes all. And it's a one-day tournament. Usually tournaments are 2, 3, 4 days. It allows you to kind of get your rhythm a little bit. And but this tournament is pretty cool. One bite, one fish, one winner. So we have not won this tournament yet. It is the only tournament that we still fish. When we stopped the tournament circuit, I think it was right around 2016 or something like that. Tournaments are great, high energy. Everybody should go through and go through that phase. But for me, I'm beyond that phase. I just don't like to be locked in to a certain location at a certain time of the year. Just want to be carefree. And that's the nice thing about World Cup. We can be wherever we want. Just enter the tournament for the day.
It ain't gonna work like that. You have to sit it.
This is over. That's good. That's good right there. Yeah, I'm good here.
All right. So on the inside.
Part of the reason that we come here is we feel it's one of our best opportunities to catch a giant fish in this World Cup tournament. And the World Cup tournament is the largest blue marlin caught anywhere in the world that you can fish and weigh a fish, and you get to fish between 8:30 in the morning and 4:30 in the afternoon. So all the different time zones, all the different locations, they all get to fish that one time, and they can hook a fish before line's out, and just so long as they weigh it before midnight, you get to count it.
Well, we just got in, finished dinner, Cape Verde, trip 2, leg whatever, I can't even remember the leg, but super jazzed about this chair. Paul's right here, and he's given his blood, sweat, and tears to design this chair for us. Paul, when did we originally sit down and talk about this chair? Were we in Azores or were we here?
We were in the Azores.
Was it a year or 2 years ago?
A year, September.
So,
Less than a year.
So last year, September, I sat down with Paul and I said, Paul, after 100 and some years of heavy tackle fishing, I can't find the chair that I want. So Paul knew exactly what I was talking about. It was instant understanding of it. And we decided that, that we can build a chair that has the philosophy of performance and performance only. But the biggest deal with this chair is it's one piece, and later we can show it, but it's not adjustable. The hockey stick is one piece, it's wider, and the entire bottom of the chair is one piece stainless steel. And these curves here, Paul etched in the pecs of a blue marlin, which is pretty cool. And then there's 3 pitch tubes. A 6-inch, is this a 4-inch, Paul?
Yeah, that's a 4.
6-4 and a 3.
Correct.
And right here. So this goes right in here in the rocket launcher where the cup holders go. So it goes right here. So we'll have 3 pitch tubes in areas where pitch baiting is important. But we're going fishing tomorrow. We're in Mandela now. We'll probably reposition the Antal, and then we'll have I think 5 or 6 days to get warmed up before the World Cup. And we just had a nice dinner with Carrie, Ron from Pelagic, and of course Paul's here. He's such a darling man. He came with us just to help us put the chair together. He's actually flying out of here tomorrow to go to Azores to fish with Chase on the aftermath. So just nice having this travel fishing community, and just nice. Check out this gimbal right here. This thing is one piece, It's about 8 pounds. It just, you know, look at this thing. It's not going anywhere. It's one piece. And this is the way all chairs needs to be built. Instead of that adjustable hockey stick that flips and flops and under pressure when the boat's tilting, you know, it's just not the way to go. But our demands are our demands, so pretty happy about this. So, right on.
I think this is one of the best blue marlin fisheries in the world, not just necessarily for size, but also numbers. The combination, I think, is what a lot of people really like about fishing in Cape Verde. You know, you got the chance to have a big day, you know, catch 7, 8, 9, 10 blue marlins in a day, but you also got a chance to see a real big one. So the combination's real cool. Not knowing what the next bite's going to be, if it's going to be a 200-pounder and an 800-pounder, kind of keeps you on your toes. It's definitely a special place, especially for me. I really love fishing here. The camaraderie around everybody, all the captains kind of work together and help one another out. Makes it special fishing here for sure.
Yeah, I was excited to come back this year because we knew what to expect. The fishing's always consistent, and there's a lot of anticipation by where the bite's happening, and being able to travel from island to island to see the numbers that the other guys are catching, and vice versa. So it's been good that way.
I think the impression that this place has left on me, it's still very rugged and gnarly. It's yeah, a really remote place, and it's great to come over and experience it.
Still there, Steve? Trip 1, which is May into June, that trip is generally for numbers, but this year the season's a little bit different here. Right before we came, the boys had a lot of big fish here, and we fished 14 days and ended up with 63 blue marlin. I think 11 over 500. So that's phenomenal world-class fishing. So we don't expect that kind of numbers for trip 2, but you never know. You never know. Last year, later in the season, such as right now in June, the big fish came in. So that's our hopes for this trip, anyways.
Little beady little guy, but it's a blue marlin. Good job, Steve. Good job, Ryan. This chair is unreal.
Whoa! Look!
I'm gonna lift this thing out one time for about 3 seconds, and then that's all I'm good for. You ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3.
It's day 2 here. This trip early on, we're going to be prepping for the World Cup, so we're looking at a lot of different areas. We had good fishing yesterday, didn't see any big ones. I think we raised 10, had 8 bites, caught 4. If you stitched all 4 of them together, they wouldn't have made a qualifier in the World Cup, so we're going to just go look at areas that historically hold bigger fish for us. And right now we're at Antau. We're going to go to the northwest bank today, give it a good day on the way there and on the bank the whole day, and then tomorrow we're going to high speed it to São Nicolau, give it a full day there. So stretching her out, we're going to be working hard, running hard here the next few days. It's going to be a couple of long days here, a few long days.
That was a solid 500, right?
Point out one fish that was a pretty big deal. Our friend Carrie Chen came on the trip for the first week, and I put Carrie in the chair, but that was also the 400th fish that we caught on the World Tour. So 400 between black and blue marlin since the start of the World Tour. So that was a pretty big deal for us.
Good job. All right. It's okay. Awesome. Catch you later. Good job, bro. If you guys are really liking this video, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. But more importantly, I'd like to invite you to follow the team by becoming a member and part of the crew at BADCOcrew.com. By signing up, you get a lot closer to the team. You have live vlogs, you have exclusive content. You also get early releases on our YouTube videos. You also get 20% off of BADCO store merchandise. Hopefully you enjoy these videos and you enjoy following the team and you like further updates and more frequent updates as well as live report on site. So log on to BADCOcrew.com.
I think every trip here, I think we've just have a much greater appreciation for the character of Cape Verde. It is different. You know, it's not a lush island, it's very brown. It doesn't have a lot of infrastructures, but I think after after the World Tour, I was going to many other places, you kind of appreciate some of the things that they have here. They're very friendly. You know, we obviously come here with the boats, but we also bring the jet here, and it's been very hassle-free. You know, we feel pretty welcome here. So I think it's just the appreciation over the people, the culture, how welcome they are to us, and the fishing.
Hey, good morning, everybody. We're just starting morning of day 3 of Lake 15, trip 2. So as you can see, we're just pulling away from the anchorage now. We're at Antau. We had a good day yesterday. We ended up with 5 fish yesterday. 3 big ones, 450, 550, and 700. And I want to call out the 700 because the 700 special fish is actually the number 400 of the World Tour since we started June of 2022. And one of my best buddies, Kiri Chin, is on the boat, and he ended up catching number 400. So that was a pretty big deal for not only the World Tour, but very big deal and special for my friend. Our original plan was to make a big boy move yesterday, 80 miles I think from here, to Marty Bates' house and island, which is San Nicolau. But we located the fish yesterday, so there's no reason for us to leave. So on the morning of day 3, we're going right back onto the bank here and see what we can find. Right now, you know, the communications amongst boats is reduced because we have the World Cup coming up in I think 2 or 3 days. So there's a lot of fish around and pretty good fishing and having a good time.
So when we're prepping for this World Cup, we look at all the satellite imagery. You know, we get some reports from a couple of people. Everybody gets kind of clammed up this time of year as far as fishing reports. So we're relying real heavily on our stuff from Ocean Imaging, and then we're going to run around and look at everything that looks good. And we'll try and get away from as many people as we can. I'd rather fish alone or be as close to alone as possible. And just look at every area that looks good, see if you can come up with a pattern, see if some bigger fish are in there, if the bait sticks around more than a day, because stuff moves around here really fast. And you know, the bait might be there for a couple hours and then it's gone, you know, but you just kind of want to see if you can re-find it later in the day, you know, like sometimes we'll make 20-mile moves, find an area, we'll catch a couple of fish, pick up and split, you know, run for an hour, 45 minutes to another area that looks good, tack around there, you know, if we catch another one, maybe pick up and run again, you know, and just so we can kind of get a grip on how we feel things are setting up in certain areas. Try and come up with a pattern.
Free boat?
Yeah.
See ya.
all over it. Look at him. Look at him. Hey, that one marked kind of big. That one marked a little bit bigger, and that was 200 feet deep.
Back. Yes, we do have a tag. Get my chair. Do your thing. I know the adrenaline's still pumping. I know the adrenaline's still pumping. What a fish. What a fish. Can we catch that 2 days later? Thank you, Mark Zuckerberg. I just narrated the entire fight. I think you guys are going to have a blast listening to that. Good job, Captain.
So this is our third season coming here to Cape Verde, and I know we're supposed to do this world tour and only go to places one time, but after the second season I was feeling really comfortable, and now that it's the third season, you know, you start feeling at home and you know when to make moves and conditions and stuff, so it's kind of cool. It's our third year. This year, for this time of year, it seems like there's more fish around. We've been moving around pretty good and, you know, fishing some of our favorite spots, and it just seems that, you know, every place is holding pretty good. You know, we're seeing, I think on the worst day, we've seen 4 or 5. Yeah, our best day, we've seen 8, which is quite a bit of fish for here in July. Not as many big ones, though, I'll say that. Why we come here for the World Cup every year is our boat's kind of in this location, the 150 and the Spencer. Anyway, and you know, it's the Azores, the water's still too cold there. It's a little bit early. Once in a while, the Azores, you can have an early season fish, or they'll get a push of fish up there. And Madeira is really nice too, but we get more shots here, I think. And we have seen so many big fish here in July. It's really crazy, you know. Really nice grade of fish. One of the biggest things about the World Tour is we try and release the fish in the best possible shape that we can. And we've released, like 390 some odd blue marlin. And so in order for us to take a fish, it's a 500-pound minimum. We've seen a few fish that grade here this trip. Saw one today. So there's quite a few of them around. We rarely take one. We've only taken one intentionally on this whole world tour, but this would be another instance. Either we're going to catch a giant one and take it, or this World Cup tournament, we'd take it. And the fish never go to waste. Like, there's a village right over here that it would feed the whole village for days. They would love to have a fish like that. So none of it would go to waste. It's it'd be great for the village.
Let another one live.
The tournament last year was one here, and it was caught by Stu on Dog's Bollocks. He's anchored down the way here about 5 miles from us right now. Imagine we'll be butting heads with him all day tomorrow. Hopefully the outcome will be reversed this year and he can watch us catch it.
So the first 5 days was pretty good, real good. We caught 19, I think. Yeah, we caught 19 fish in the first 5 days. We lost a 500, lost a 700, but still caught 2 500s, 2 400s, and 2 700s. Well, our plan is to get as many days in and get a rhythm. Cape Verde is an area that changes fast, so it's hard. It's a little harder to get a rhythm in Cape Verde just because the areas change so fast here. And I watched some of these legendary captains catch 4 or 5, and then the very next day they don't go back to the same spot. So it's really, really interesting how the fishery works here and how fast the water moves here, how much new water and current moves around here. So for us, Steve's been scouting a lot of different spots, looking at the new water coming in, looking at the currents, looking at the baits, and then hopefully, when that day comes, we'll be in the right area.
World Cup is a great tournament. Always look forward to fishing it. There's nothing that I personally do any differently. I just make sure and scale my drags, make sure, might change some line if it needs it. All the leaders are fresh, but as far as that, it's just another day of fishing for me personally. We're always, tournament ready, IGFA fishing, so it's nothing new.
It's really just another day of fishing for me. We fish on kind of a tournament standard, give it our all every single day, tournament or not. We're always keeping everything tip-top between lines, rigging, leaders, hooks, So when the tournament comes around, it's not really much different, We just kind of do the same thing and go out and try our best and have a good time, have fun, hope to catch a big one. Cape Verde's definitely, I think it's been won here now more times than almost anywhere else in the world, definitely over the last 10 years. Lots of big fish here. It's a good time of year to be fishing, and with the full moon coming up, we're definitely anxious to fish the tournament and hopefully get lucky and get a chance at a nice big fish.
We've heard of several boats, seen nice fish. We haven't actually, seen one that we feel confident that would win it, but yeah, man, we're ready for it.
You hurry up to get to the spot, and you just wait. You can turn the electronics on, you can look around, you can get your riggers out, you can get your lures ready, but you can't put them in until 8:30. So, we got high hopes. So, a couple spots been biting for us real good.
Well, good morning, everyone, and happy 4th of July. We are about 45 minutes before line's in for the World Cup. Lots of excitement in the air. It is the only tournament that our team does now, currently. It's a one-day tournament. Biggest fish, or I should say biggest blue marlin, anywhere in the world on 4th of July. We're here in Cape Verde, so we have high hopes. in about 45 minutes we'll be lines in, putting the lures in. Best of luck to everybody today. Lots of friends in the World Cup today, and if we don't get it, hopefully one of our friends does. Good luck to all. All right, we're just minutes or even seconds away from lines in. The 2025 World Cup. Boys are ready. Ready on the floor. All the lures are ready to go. So here we go. Wish us luck. Lines in.
So this is why fishing is fishing. So we all of a sudden on the morning of July 4th, the winds shifted, and it was supposed to calm. The weather report shows it to basically grease out, and it just shifted. And then by the time we got on our spot, the wind was coming from another direction, and the current switched. It slowed down, and the current switched 90 degrees. The fish were still there, and we were marking them with a sonar, but they wouldn't bite. And the ones that did bite was lazy bites. We ended up catching one small one, I think 200, 250 or something like that. But pretty uneventful for 4th of July. And it was pretty uneventful for all of Cape Verde, actually. I don't think we had a qualifier here for Cape Verde, which is very, very unusual. This is probably one of the top spots that yielded World Cup winners.
All right, happy 4th of July. We had really high hopes this morning. We've been fishing really well, very high hopes. Got the area pretty much sort of dialed in. A few spots, and just like fishing, you can tell the wind changed this morning. You know, you can tell even with the mothership, see how the water is. The wind shifted, and the current changed. So conditions changed. We did raise 5 fish, lazy bites. So Cape Verde today, unfortunately for all of our friends, didn't happen here. And that's it. That's it for Cape Verde. So last year's winner was Cape Verde. This year it was very quiet because of the condition change. So that's fishing. That's the way it goes. But we always had a good time. But we had our slowest day today. We caught one. We're gonna go back out there tomorrow and see if the condition gets right again. And then we'll probably make a big boy move 165 nautical miles from here. There's an island called Mayo, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Every year we've been wanting to go to Mayo, but the fishing is usually so good or good enough where we don't want to make the long run. So we're now threatening to do it this year. And of course, we catch tomorrow. We're not going anywhere. But it looks like we're going to do our best to make the trek down there, and probably be at least a 5-day commitment, because you're looking at one day, at least 1 to 2 days down and 1 or 2 days back up. So we'll keep you posted. Hopefully we'll make it down there.
Yep, so the last couple of days the current died here completely, and still raising a ton of fish, like maybe the most ever, seeing so many fish, and they're just not acting right with that dead current and lack of current. So we're gonna make a move here. We're gonna just keep moving, check out a bunch of areas we've never checked out before, and get comfortable in those areas too, so when we come back next season we can broaden our range a little bit, have more options. Right now we're at Antau, and we're splitting for Sao Nicolau tonight, and then probably hop down to Sol from there and Mayo from there.
start the morning. Way to start the morning. Nice job, Ryan.
Yeah, we finished up fishing the World Cup, and in the next few days we'll be heading down to Maio, you know, a southeastern island. Well, there seems to be like two chain of islands, the northwestern of Visante and Antao Nicolau, and then there's 5 or 6 down to the southeast there. So, you know, the potential of never coming back here on the World Tour is, it's called the World Tour for a reason, I guess. We've got to go and check out everything and anything we can. It'd be great to venture out and explore it, but yeah, get away from the norm.
That's my line, dude. It's a great day to have a great day.
There's a lot of emotional ups and downs in the program in the last 12 months. You went from the ultra highs where we did the Madeira shoot with 175 and the 150 running together, and that looked, you know, super exciting. And then just 6 months later, we had the catastrophic leak that took the 170 out yet for another year. Keep in mind that we delayed a year because we blew the MTU engine upon sea trial. So that boat has been challenging. And then we've, you know, flipped back to the 150 where we're on now. This boat is home. We're familiar with this boat. We've spent, I gotta add it up, but we probably spent 300 days on this boat. That was 300 days of utilizing the shower and the head system, and you know, we take it for granted that something as easy as, you know, making fresh water and always having a hot shower and having a gourmet meal every night on here and having a head system that works. We take that for granted when you're on a mothership like this and you're, you know, all over the world. So we moved 70 miles here from Antao. Tomorrow we're going to travel fish. We're going to go to either Sao or Mayo. 2 islands that is east of us. So we're actually heading towards east, so where the mainland is. So these islands are closer to the mainland than the island that we are here. I've never been there, so I'm excited. Every one of these islands are amazing. They have their own character, and I'm looking forward to seeing 1 or 2 more islands. And hopefully we find the right one. Always need to be prepared for that one fish to bite. So no matter what, we got to be ready.
Never been anywhere else besides the main 3, San Antao, here, Mindelo, and São Nicolau, the most I've fished. So going and exploring Maio, that was super cool and super exciting. Kind of didn't really know what to expect, fishing wise. Always different when you go explore somewhere. You're not sure what it's going to be like and how the fishing's going to be like. So it's definitely exciting going there to Maio fishing.
Had this just jaw-dropping moment, this rocket that just came out on a pitch bait. Just one of those moments where, you're just like, oh my gosh, did I just witness that? No doubt the most insane bite I've seen or witnessed on a pitch bait. So that was pretty nice to get confirmation that we're in the right area. That's funny. 80 miles to where we fished, and then another 15 or 20 to the anchorage. So pretty close to 100 miles, and that was from São Nicolau.
The sense of adventure is certainly reduced. Again, not in a negative context at all, but it's becoming more familiar to us. And the environment here, the weather patterns here, the currents here, and the multiple different islands and the contrast of different islands here is just becoming more home sort of feel, rather than us, for example, going to Seychelles for the first time or going to Bazarudo for the first time. No matter how much research and experts that you talk to in the local community, there's always a sense of newness, and there's always that sense of adventure when you see it, touch it, smell it, and witness it for the first time. That's a completely different vibe or feel than coming back to Cape Verde year after year. this place has grown in terms of our level of interest every year. It is, this area is much deeper than what you see. It's just a vast, vast area, and the fish here are plentiful. They come in and out of the region. They move from island to island. You know, this year we stretched it out a little bit. We went to Mayo, which is 160 miles from where we're sitting right now.
Well, good morning. We're in a little bit of unfamiliar territory this morning. We made the big boy move from Mandelo, actually from Antao, to Mayo. This is the first time that we've been here in Mayo, which is an island that is one of the series of 9 or 10 islands here in Cape Verde. We've wanted to come here every year that we've been here. You know, obviously one of the capabilities of a mothership is to move around, and the reason why we haven't been here is simply because the fishing has been so good in, you know, sort of the, if you want to call the home islands, which is San Nicolau, the Mandela area, as well as Antao. They're just, this area is so vast. There's so many great fishing, and the fish tends to move around. So, pretty familiar area. The island, if you can take a look at it, is very different from the other Cape Verde islands. It's much low profile. It actually has a point in sand and a long stretch of beach, where some of the other islands are very, very brown and very towering. So it's a very different visual here. A lot more green. So we've got high hopes here, and I have a feeling we're going to come back here a lot more in the future.
The fishing was good. It was a little bit hit or miss, you know. We kind of stopped on their heads. Had a couple nice ones the first day, for the first little bit, and then the next day we had a little bit of a slower day. I think some of that's part of exploring a place, you know. You don't, even if you find a fish or two somewhere, you kind of want to keep looking for something, grass is greener type of thing, but not always.
Could have been a decent one.
Definitely a neat experience, you know, going somewhere else. A lot different, the island itself, the way it looks, the anchorages, the way you fish, a little bit further of a run when we were fishing off of Maio versus somewhere like San Antao or Sao Nicolau, where you're putting the lures in, just leaving the anchorage. I think it was about 80 miles to where we fished, and then another 15 or 20 to the anchorage. So pretty close to 100 miles, and that was from Sao Nicolau.
Part of the advantage of having a mothership program is you can be completely self-contained. And, you know, being in Mayo, which is 160 miles away, you know, there's always FOMO, right? The fear of missing out around Mandelo or Antao or San Nicolau, which are the three most routine areas, if you will. Mandelo to Antao is 15, 20 miles. Mandelo to Nicolau is around 50, 55 miles. But these are sort of the three different spots that the world-class charter fleet here moves around. And the nice thing is you have coverage here. So anytime, you know, a bite flares up in some of these areas, you know, the community shares the information, you can reposition. But when you're in Mayo and when you're 160 miles away, you're kind of out of position. So that's one of the, you know, sort of the FOMO challenges here. But when you're out of position like that, you have to be committed to fish there. You know, you have to check the weather. And then on the way back, you know, you got to run 110 miles until you get to Nicolau, which is where Marty's operation and his house is based out of. And then you spend the night there, and then the next day you travel again for the remainder of the 50 or 60 nautical miles back to Mandelo. So it's a minimum of 2-day travel. And of course the mothership will have to follow along. So as we go out fishing for the day, or travel fishing if you want to call it, a straight lining, the mothership would then, you know, pick up the anchor and run to the next destination. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool orchestration.
The next day we had good fishing. Had 8 bites, caught 4, saw a couple nice fish.
Just a fascinating place in the world. It's a fascinating country. And we really enjoyed it, and the fishing has been nothing short of just world class. In this trip, we fished 14 days, which includes a couple of travel days. We ended up with, I think, 38 fish, and but out of the 14 days, we ended up seeing 16 fish over 500. So, you know, our hookup ratio this trip on big fish was probably one of the worst of the world tour, and that's just fishing. You know, we were unsuccessful on both lures and pitch bait, but it's just amazing to put 14 days in and see that many big fish. So we're just very intrigued by this entire area.
I think the first day that we got there, we had a couple of nice bites, so the anticipation was high. The next day we really didn't see too much, and the weather started to come up on the third day, so I think we ended up catching, or we jumped one off and caught one, and you know, hightailed it out of there because the weather was coming, but it was a good experience for sure.
Found a few patch of fish on a inside or western bank of the island, and we've been wanting to check out the southeastern bank. So it's still testing. It's challenging. It's checking out a new place. It's never easy, but yeah, some fish around.
It's been a great experience. We've been lucky to have awesome fishing both trips. Super cool to have the mothership program allowing us to bounce around, you know, kind of follow the bite and explore some new areas that we've never been to. Had great fishing kind of all over. Super lucky to be able to do what we've done and go where we've gone.
I've always said that travel fishing, for me, has been part of my life ever since when I was a little kid towing my 17-foot whaler to Cabo San Lucas. That's travel fishing. So travel fishing will never end, but the world tour will. And what that means is that we'll stop going to new places once we circumnavigate, and that's my plan the entire time. Is I want to circumnavigate, and I want to be able to go to places that are interesting, you know, from the equator to the Tropic of Cancer, from the equator to the Tropic of Capricorn, you know, put a ring around it and look at the places I want to go and I want to see. And once we're satisfied with that, we'll probably just, you know, we'll probably end up in a few places, and those few places will be here. It'll be in the Atlantic most likely.
Yeah, it was pretty stellar season. We ended with about 100 blue marlin. Really great fishing. You know, that's something I'll take with me for the rest of my life. That's a lifelong memory I'll have, and a huge accomplishment, I think, for all of us.
It's a special time. We gotta soak it in. You know, the die with memories, not dreams sort of you know, energy, you gotta just soak this all in. This is just incredible that we're here. And I think sometimes we get, now that we're 3 years into it, you kind of get on routine, you kind of get used to it a little bit. But it's just such a blessing for us to be able to experience this and fit it all into our lives. And we all have busy lives and have other responsibilities and priorities that we all have to manage and maintain and you know, invest our, you know, personal attention to. So for, you know, all of us to come together and fish this hard and fish together and have this great feeling of a team when we're fishing, it's just been truly a blessing. And I certainly hope that we can keep it going for the next year and possibly a year and a half with the 175 joining the program, carrying that 50. That's pretty darn exciting. But regardless of what happens there, we just gotta make sure that we really appreciate what's going on, because it is special. All right, dude. Time to go home.